Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Anybody here who doesn't understand English? Anybody who doesn't understand English? Sisters, anybody who doesn't understand English? Little bit in Urdu. Yeah, this should be fine. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulullah. In the next half an hour, we're going to go over the entire Hajj once again. Just repeat it, inshallah. And then, if there's anything that Fazal Bhai Sohail want to add on Mufti Saab. And then tomorrow will be our final session with regards to Medina, Munawwara, and any questions, etc. So most of you will be doing Tamattu. Tamattu is 2 Ihrams, one for Umrah, one for Hajj. And I think majority, maybe all of you are going to do Tamattu. Some will put on your Ihram from UK, some maybe from a via destination, some from Medina. The intention that you will make, which you can make now, and that intention doesn't go away, that Ya Allah, I am making the intention of performing Hajj Tamattu, and this is the Ihram for my Umrah. Even if you make the niyyat and intention for Umrah, and then comes the days of Hajj, you make the niyyat for Hajj, automatically it becomes Tamattu. Niyyat doesn't have to be verbally expressed, it's in your heart, in your mind. To make sure you take out time where you can put on the Ihram and read 2 rakat salat, wherever you are. Medina, Manchester Airport, another via destination, etc. For Ihram, Ihram is not the name of 2 cloths. Ihram is the name of a state, focus, attention, and dedication towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Certain things are prohibited, certain are allowed and permissible. For Ihram, it is sunnah to try and pray 2 rakats and nafal, and thereafter, if the time is right, you can start with your niyyat and reciting labbaik. Your Ihram, its implications and injunctions and restrictions will not apply until you read labbaik. The technical term is talbiyah. Until you start your talbiyah, reading the labbaik. Once you read labbaik, you say labbaik, Allahumma labbaik till the end, then all the restrictions will apply. Your Ihram is started. Yes, you can put on the sheets, pray 2 rakats nafal, make the niyyat, and not pray talbiyah till later on. There's always a risk of forgetting, going to sleep, etc. The earlier you read it, the better. Normally we advise people that once you get on the plane, once you get on the flight, then start reading your talbiyah, not before, just in case there's any complications at the airport, especially with the modern system. If they don't make the booking and you find out you're not on that flight, then at least you've not started your Ihram. तो ihram, हम में से अक्सर लोग तमत्तु का इरादा करेंगे। तमत्तु का मतलब ये है कि 2 ihram के साथ, उम्रा और हज। उम्रे का अलग ihram, हज का अलग ihram। यहाँ से जाते हुए या मदीना से या जहाँ कहीं से ihram बांध लेंगे, नियत कर लेंगे, 2 रकात नफल पढ़ लेंगे। और जब हम तलबिया पढ़ना शुरू करें, तब से हमारा ihram शुरू होता है, सवाब शुरू हो जाता है और हमारा हज शुरू हो जाता है, और जो पाबंदियां है वो भी लागू पड़ती है। हाँ, ये कर सकते हैं कि एक दफा फ्लाइट में बैठ जाने के बाद लब्बैक पढ़े कि अगर कोई फ्लाइट की टिकट में कुछ गड़बड़ हो तो फिर कोई मुश्किल पेश न आए। जैसे ही तुमने लब्बैक पढ़ना शुरू कर दिया, अब सारी पाबंदियां लागू होगी। इंशाअल्लाह अजीज, आप जब मक्का पहुंचेंगे, आराम कर लेंगे। आराम करने के बाद दोपहर को नहीं, गर्मी में नहीं, या तो फजर से पहले या तो असर की नमाज के बाद आप इंशाल्लाह अपने उम्रे को मुकम्मल करने के लिए इंशाल्लाह तशरीफ ले जाएंगे। Once you reach Makkah, settle down. You don't have to go for your Umrah immediately. You can go later on, and we would advise you not to go when it's too hot. So nothing between 9 a.m. early morning and approximately 5 p.m. Go after Asr, after Isha, before Fajr. Okay? These are the times when it's most suitable for us. Have a good rest so that you can enjoy your Umrah. When you go to Masjid Haram, Masjid Haram, go with somebody who's been, so they can guide you, they can direct you. First time when you see the Kaaba, your dua will be accepted, and make the most of that opportunity. To start for Umrah, the first farz was your Ihram. The second farz is going to be Tawaf. Tawaf, you need wuzu. Without wuzu, Tawaf will not be valid. You will go towards the Kaaba. You will face Hajr Aswad. Men folk, you will do Istiba, which is exposing the right shoulder, putting your Ihram underneath the right shoulder and on top of the left shoulder. And you will face, chest, face, everything towards Kaaba, towards Hajr Aswad, where people will be standing. On the outskirts, or inside the masjid wall, there will be a green light. You raise your hand, Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. And then you can't just kiss the stone, so you kiss your hand and then you direct it towards Hajr Aswad. Then your chest and face both will be in the direction that you're doing your tawaf. And men folk will be doing ramal, which is walking fast, short steps, exposing your chest, not running away. First three, you will do ramal, and then you will carry on with your istiba in the remaining, and you will complete 7. How many times have you done istilam in the full tawaf? 8. One at the beginning, one at the end. And it is only at these 2 times and points that you totally face Hajr Aswad. जब मक्के पहुंचेंगे आराम कर लेंगे और फिर हम तवाफ के लिए जाएंगे. तवाफ के लिए वुजू जरूरी है, बगैर वुजू के तवाफ नहीं होता. एहराम एक फर्ज था, दूसरा फर्ज हमारे उम्रे का तवाफ है. जैसे ही हम इंशाअल्लाह काबा को पहुंचेंगे, हज अस्वद की तरफ मुंह, चेहरा और छाती करके बिस्मिल्लाह अल्लाहु अकबर पढ़ेंगे. तकबीर के बाद इस्तिलाम करेंगे. इस्तिलाम का मतलब अपने हाथ को बोसा दे करके हाथ को हज अस्वद की तरफ कर ले. चेहरा छाती इस्तिलाम के वक्त हज अस्वद की तरफ था. अब चेहरा और छाती दोनों, अपना सीना जिस तरफ हम जा रहे हैं तो उस चक्कर की जिहत के अंदर. और मर्द हजरात इस्तिबा करेंगे, अपने सीधे हाथ के खंभे को खोल देंगे और पहले 3 चक्कर में रमल करेंगे, जिसका मतलब यह है कि छोटे छोटे कदम ले करके तेजी के साथ चलेंगे. दौड़ना मतलूब नहीं है. पहले 3 चक्कर में रमल होगा, बाकी आमतन बाकी चक्कर में रमल नहीं होगा. इस्तिबा चालू रखे और तवाफ खत्म करने के बाद मस्जिद में, जहां पीछे मकाम इब्राहिम के पीछे मस्जिद में और शेल्टर वाली मस्जिद में, पुरानी मस्जिद में, जहां जगह मिले, ऐसे के तवाफ करने वालों को, गुजरने वालों को हरज न हो तो 2 रकात नफल पढ़ ले. इस नफल का पढ़ना वाजिब है. फजर के बाद, असर के बाद मकरूह वक्त शुरू हो जाता है, तो फिर इस नमाज को नहीं पढ़ी जाएगी, बाद में उसकी कज़ा कर ले. Read after tawaf 2 rakats, which is nafal, necessary to be read. If it's after asr, after maghrib, it's not to be read. It can be repeated later, inshallah. Once you finish your tawaf, read the 2 rakats, make the most of making dua, and then you can relax a bit. Sunnah to drink zamzam, and then you go towards sa'i. Was doing your sa'i, which starts from Safa till Marwa. Safa is the place where sa'i starts. Technical term for it, written on the boards, and the signs is Mas'a. Go towards the place of sa'i. And in the masjid, there is one minaret in the corner where Safa mountain is placed. You go towards Safa. For sa'i of Safa Marwa, you don't need wudu. It's better to have wudu. You go towards Safa, you climb the mountain. The remains of the mountain face the Qibla and Kaaba, and you raise your hands and you say takbir, and you raise your hands and you make dua. From Safa to Marwa is 1. Back to Safa 2. So you start at Safa, you finish at Marwa, and inshallah your 7 chakras will be done. Yeah. Between Safa and Marwa, there will be an area which used to be valleys before, where Hazrat Hajar went down and up quickly, keeping an eye on Hazrat Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. That area, now on the floor, there will be a slightly dark green shaded marble and green lights at the sides. You will see people running, men folk only run in that area, and when the area finishes, you can wait for the family. Whilst you're doing sa'i, do zikr, fikr, dua, istighfar, etc. You can sit, you can have a rest, you can drink zamzam, you can eat, etc. if you're hungry and it's necessary. Sa'i is there's not as many restrictions with regards to Sa'i as there are for Tawaf. Start at Safa, finish at Marwa. Once you finish, then you will be completing your Umrah, taking off your Ihram, unless you're in Qiran. Is there anybody going to do Qiran? Unless you're in Qiran, right? Yeah. Unless you're in Qiran. So if you're in Qiran, then you do not cut your hair. If you're in Tamattu, you will finish off your Ihram, you will cut or shave your hair. Brothers, preferable to shave. You'll get 3 du'as of the Prophet. They're permissible to cut as well. And sisters, you clip the hair. You just go round the finger an inch or two from the end, loose end of your hair. Once you've shaved, cut the hair, your ihram is finished. You have a shower, go back into normal clothing. You either stay in Makkah or you might even go to Medina. And then when you come back from Medina, if there is days and time, you can do another Umrah. And then on the days of Hajj, you put on the Ihram for Hajj and you start your Hajj. You've done one Umrah, you can do another Umrah whilst you're in Makkah as well by going to Masjid Aisha. सफ़ा मरवा के दरमियान सई ये वाजिब है और सफ़ा मरवा के दरमियान सई में इतनी ज़्यादा पाबंदियां नहीं है जैसे कि तवाफ के अंदर है। अलबत्ता वज़ू रखे तो मुस्तहब सुन्नत है। जिक्र फिक्र करे, सफ़ा पहाड़ पर चढ़ करके काबे की तरफ मुंह करके तकबीर पढ़े, दुआ करे। इसी तरह मरवा पर सफ़ा से शुरू करेंगे, मरवा पर इंशाल्लाह सई के 7 चक्कर खत्म होंगे। इसके बाद अब उम्रे से फारिग होने के लिए, एहराम से फारिग होने के लिए बाल या तो मुंडवा देंगे मर्द हजरत, या तो बाल काट देंगे। एहराम खत्म हो जाएगा, उम्रा मुकम्मल हो जाएगा। और ये बाल कटवाना वगैरह ये भी वाजिब है। अब या तो मदीना जाएंगे, मदीना से वापसी के वक्त अगर दिन हो, वक्त है तो उम्रा भी कर सकते हैं। अगर सीधे हज में जाना हो और हज के एहराम बांधना हो, हज के एहराम भी बांध सकते हैं। जो हजरत मक्के में रहेंगे और भी उम्रे करने हो तो कर सकते हैं मस्जिद आयशा जा करके। तवाफ करते रहे जब कभी मौका मिले, और हज के दिनों में हज का एहराम बांध लेंगे। हज के एहराम बांधने के लिए बेहतर यह है होटल में एहराम बांधे, मस्जिद हराम के अंदर आकर के 2 रकत और फिर तलबिया लब्बैक शुरू कर दे। अगर अजीजिया के अंदर है, आखिरी दिन बहुत भीड़ है, नहीं आ सकते, तो वहां से भी तो एहराम बांध करके लब्बैक पढ़ करके अजीजिया से डायरेक्ट मीना में जा सकते हैं। अब हज के 5 दिन शुरू होंगे। ज्यादातर हमारे हाजियों को, ब्रिटिश हाजियों को 8वीं से पहले 7वीं को मगरिब और ये ईशा और फजर के दरमियान किसी वक्त आपको मीना में पहुंचा देंगे। हज का एहराम बांध लो, हज की नीयत कर लो और तलबिया और लब्बैक शुरू कर लो। अब मौलिम की जैसे जब बस आएगी वो बस आपको इंशाअल्लाह ले जाएगी। ज्यादातर आपको फजर से पहले वहां पहुंचा देगी। अगरचे सुन्नत यह है कि फजर के बाद मक्के से रवाना हो फजर पढ़ करके, लेकिन मुअल्लिम का जो निज़ाम हो, यानी अभी जो इन कंपनियों का, राजी कंपनी या किसी भी कंपनी और ये सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स वगैरह का जो निज़ाम है उसको फॉलो करो। मीना पहुंचो, मीना पहुंचने के बाद 5 नमाजें फजर, ज़ोहर, असर, मगरिब, इशा मीना में पढ़नी है। आराम करना है, जिक्र फिक्र, दुआ, इस्तिगफार और अरफा के लिए तैयारी करनी है। Once you reach Mina, you sunnah to pray 5 namazes in Mina: Fajr, Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. Sorry, Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, and Fajr. Yeah, starting from Zuhr, ending with the Fajr of Arafat day. The 8th entirely in Mina. Have a rest, zikr, fikr, stay away from the heat, and make the most of it in terms of dua, zikr. If you're with the family, spend some time with the family as well outside in Mina, and try go sleep early, wake up for tahajjud and enjoy the atmosphere. Start making preparation mentally for Arafat. On the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, which is the day of Arafat, could be the biggest day of your life, surely is the biggest day of the year, the most virtuous day. You're in the most virtuous state in Ihram, and inshallah we will be going to one of the most effective places on that day, named as Yawm Arafah because of Arafah. Be ready. You will be told when you will be going on the 9th after Fajr Salat. You will be starting your Takbir Tashriq, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. And continue for 23 Salats. On the 9th, you will be told when you will be going to Arafat. Everybody will be picked up by the coaches and you will all inshallah reach Arafat. Once you reach Arafat, have a rest till Zohar. The crucial moments, important moment, most powerful, virtuous moments start immediately after Zohar. Us in our tents, according to Hanafi madhab, we will pray Zohar in its time. When it's Asr time, we will pray Asr. The Imam of Hajj will give a khutbah, deliver a khutbah in Masjid Namira, and we don't advise people to go there in the heat, etc. And he will pray Zohar, Asr, both together as the Prophet did, and then he will give a khutbah and sermon. And the Prophet ﷺ prayed Asr together so that we can have more time to stand and just concentrate on dua. After Zohar, go out for a minute or two, as long as you last. Don't overdo it. Be considerate. You know yourself better than anybody else, how much you can take in terms of heat and sun, etc. Come back, stand, sit, lie down. If you're very tired, just keep on doing dua istighfar. Do not waste any time. Coming close to Asr, start doing more wukuf outside. After Asr, spend all the time either in collective du'as. Make sure you take out time for your own self, with your family, individually, till Maghrib, till the cannon goes off. Continuously make dua, and we're all relying upon you. The ummah is relying upon you. Make sure you get yourself forgiven on that day, inshallah. You cannot leave Arafah before Maghrib. If you do, you have to come back. You have to stay there till Maghrib. And Arafah is Hajj, one of the farz of Hajj. Arafah के दिन, Arafah के मैदान के अंदर ज़ोहर अपने तंबू में, खेमे में, अपने वक्त में पढ़ लेंगे, असर पढ़ लेंगे. वुकूफ का वक्त ज़ोहर से लेकर के मगरिब तक शुरू होता है. खड़े खड़े जितना हो सके थोड़ी देर बाहर अंदर इस तरह करके असर तक दुआएं करते रहे. असर के बाद मुसलसल एक घड़ी भी ज़ाय किए बगैर वुकूफ के साथ दुआ इज्तिमाई तौर पर, इनफिरादी तौर पर अपने घर वालों के साथ मगरिब तक दुआएं चालू रखे. मगफिरत का मौका है, इस मौके को हाथ से न जाने दे. मगरिब तक रहना अरफा में जरूरी है. मगरिब से पहले अगर कोई चला गया, वापस नहीं आया तो हज नहीं होगा. फर्ज है मगरिब तक रहना. जैसे ही वो टोप फूटता है तो फिर वकूफ का वक्त खत्म हो गया, अब आराम कर लो. जब कोचे आएगी आपको इंशाल्लाह जो वक्त दिया जाएगा उस वक्त कोच आकर के आपको इंशाल्लाह मुज़दलिफा ले जाएगी. Maghrib, Isha, you don't need to pray in Arafat. Before you leave, go to the toilets, etc. Take some water bottles with you. When you reach Muzdalifah, inshallah, the first thing you've got to do, set yourself, reserve your area, your bedding, pray Maghrib and Isha. One adhan and one iqamah. So adhan, iqamah, Maghrib, and then immediately Isha, and then the Sunnah Nawafil of Maghrib, Sunnah Nawafil and Watar of Isha. Everybody will be doing their own jamaats, 10, 15 here and there and everywhere. The night of Muzdalifah, the second thing they've got to do after doing Jama, Maghrib and Isha, is collect the pebbles, collect 70, collect your own, it's Sunnah, and then have a rest, wake up for Tahajjud, wake up at least 2 hours before Tahajjud, just in case you need to go to the toilet, etc. There will be long queues, control your diet and nutrition. Pray Fajr in Muzdalifah. The time of wukuf in Muzdalifah, standing and making dua, is from Subh Sadiq, Fajr beginning time till Ishraq. Once you've prayed your Fajr, your wukuf is done. Technically, you can leave Muzdalifah, but you don't want to miss out on the opportunity where dua is going to be accepted. Remember, the Prophet ﷺ said, my duas that were not accepted in Arafat were accepted in Muzdalifah. Muzdalifah is your last chance to get your duas accepted. Do not miss out on that chance. मुज़दलिफा के अंदर रात गुजारेंगे, इबादत करेंगे, वहां पहुंच करके मगरिब इशा जमात के साथ ये जमा करके दोनों एक साथ, एक अजान एक इकामत के साथ पढ़ लेंगे. अजान होगी, मगरिब पढ़ लेंगे, उसके बाद अजान होगी, इकामत होगी, मगरिब पढ़ेंगे, इशा पढ़ेंगे, मगरिब की सुन्नत नवाफिल, इशा की सुन्नत नवाफिल और वतर पढ़ लेंगे. उसके बाद हमें 70 कंकरियां जमा करनी है. फिर आराम करे, तहज्जुद वगैरह का एहतिमाम करे. वकूफ है मुज़दलिफा, मुज़दलिफा में खड़े होकर के दुआ करना क्या करने का वक्त सुबह सादिक से फजर की वो इब्तिदाई वक्त से वकूफ का वक्त शुरू होता है. जैसे तुमने फजर पढ़ ली, तुम्हारा वकूफ हो गया. कोई अगर जाना चाहे तो जा सकता है, लेकिन ये मौका नहीं मिलेगा कि जो दुआएं अरफा में कबूल नहीं हुई उसको कबूल करवाने का मौका शुरू हुआ है. मुज़दलिफा में वो दुआएं कबूल करवा ले और खड़े खड़े हो सके तो इशराक तक या कम से कम आधा घंटा, पौन घंटा, 1 घंटे तक खड़े खड़े दुआ कर ले. फिर मीना चले जावे. ज्यादातर कोचें बहुत देर से आती है, चलना ज्यादा आसान होता है, कभी कभी आपको मौलवी की कोच मिलेगी. You might be lucky, you might get a coach. If not, walking will take you about an hour that you'll reach your tents. Some of you might go straight to the Jamarat, which is okay, and some of you might go to the tents and have a rest. I normally go to the tent and go to sleep, and I go for Rami, which is the pelting of the shaitan after Asr. Everything might be dictated by your group or your group leader, etc. The time of on this day, the day of Eid, there are 3 things that you have to do in order. First one is pelting only the big shaitan today 7 times. Second, sacrifice, and third, shaving or cutting the hair and coming out of your ihram. According to the Hanafi school of fiqh and understanding, you have to do all these in order. If you don't, then you'd have to give a penalty. So be careful and cautious. ईद के दिन 3 चीजें करनी है. बड़े शैतान को, सिर्फ बड़े शैतान को कंकरी मारनी है. जैसे ही बड़े शैतान के ऊपर नजर पड़े, लब्बैक पढ़ना अब बंद. As you see the big shaitan, you don't pray labbaik anymore. You pelt the shaitan 7 times. After that, your qurbani has to be done. And और शैतान को कंकरियां मारने के बाद कुर्बानी होगी. कुर्बानी के बाद सर मुंडवा ले, एहराम तुम्हारा खत्म हो जाएगा. एहराम की ज्यादातर पाबंदियां अब हट जाएगी, सिवाय मियाँ बीवी का जो ताल्लुक है, सोहबत वगैरह, वो जायज नहीं है जब तक कि तवाफ ज़ियारत न हो जावे. Once you finish your ihram, all the implications, injunctions and instructions, restrictions, etc. will be moved, except for marital intimacy, which does not become halal until your tawaf ziyarat is done. The time for tawaf ziyarat starts from Fajr on the day of Eid, all the way till the 12th. You can do it anytime. You don't necessarily have to do tawaf ziyarat after the 3 things. You can do it anytime, but it is preferable, sunnah, as the Prophet did it after doing the 3 things, after finishing his ihram, and it's a bit more meaningful and purposeful as well. Basically, you've gone through a process of cleaning yourself, and then you go into the Kaaba, like going into the Jannah, and then it's like ziyarat, tawaf ziyarat, meeting Allah, seeing Allah, and bringing that to your attention. And it's one of the tawafs that you enjoy the most. And I think they also change the covering of the Kaaba just before you come back. And it's all like about freshness and new life, new focus, inshallah. And you clean and purified from your sin as you were the day you were born, inshallah. तवाफ ज़ियारत करना फ़र्ज़ है, इसके बगैर हज मुकम्मल नहीं होता है. तवाफ ज़ियारत किसी भी वक्त कर सकते हैं, किसी भी वक्त. जब मुज़दलिफ़ा से फारिग होने के बाद रमी करने से पहले भी कर सकते हैं. और सुन्नत तो ये है कि रमी कर ले, कुर्बानी कर ले, बाण मुंडवा ले, एहराम खत्म कर ले, फिर तवाफ ज़ियारत के लिए जावे. तवाफ ज़ियारत के लिए रात को भी जा सकते हैं. रात को मीना में गुजारना सुन्नत है, और तमाम 3-4 दिनों में से हर किसी एक रात को गुजारना मीना में सुन्नत मुअक्कदा है. तो अगर किसी वजह से 1-2 रातें इधर-उधर छूट गई, तो इससे कोई चीज लाजिम नहीं होती है. लेकिन एहतिमाम करे कि इबादत वाली रात है. हजरत उमर इब्न खत्ताब पूरी रात तकबीर पढ़ते थे, पूरा मीना गूंजता था. They used to recite takbir, and the whole of Mina, the mountains, would echo with takbir. So these are the days of eating, drinking, and remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Relax, enjoy, remember Allah, and keep on doing dua and istighfar and zikr, fikr, etc. You can go at night time. I normally stay in Mina the first night till approximately 2 o'clock. Just before Tahajjud, I normally go for Tawaf. You just come out, and then you'll find loads of transport, people saying Makkah, Makkah, or you might see 10, 20 seaters as groups of 10, 20 people. You just put your hand out or just make a deal and you get to Makkah. Similarly, coming back on the road, you'll find loads of transport. Sometimes you might just have to pay that little bit extra. Go for your tawaf. Once you go for tawaf, make sure that you've got wudu once again. And that tawaf might be very busy, especially if you go during the day, because most of the hajis during the night are in Mina. Daytime they go for tawaf. We have that little bit flexibility in terms of, for Hanafi mazhab, it's not wajib and necessary to be in Mina. So inshallah, if you stay half the night, you'll get the full reward. Normally after half night, we go and do our tawaf, and it's not that busy before Fajr. Make sure you've got wudu. You'll need to do your tawaf for Hajj, and you'll also need to do sa'i for Hajj. Once you've done your tawaf, once you've done your sa'i, then most of your furs are done. You've just got the wajibs left, which is pelting the shaitan on the 12th, on the 11th and the 12th. And then doing tawaf wida, which is also wajib. If the sisters are on their periods, they can't do tawaf ziyarat. They've still got to do their tawaf ziyarat before they come back in order to complete their hajj. After doing tawaf ziyarat, if your monthly cycle starts, sisters don't have to do tawaf wida. That wajib will move away. But the first tawaf ziyarat has to be done in any case. So you've got to plan your journey and itinerary accordingly. On the 11th and the 12th, you will be pelting the shaitan, small, middle, and the big one. After the small one, pelt him 7 times, do dua. Second one, middle one, 7 times, do dua. Big one, after the big one, you don't do dua. Whenever you're going to pelt again, you do dua. So first, second, you do dua. Third one, you don't do dua. The timing for pelting on the 11th and the 12th will start after Zohar beginning time, after Zenith, after Zawal. It is sunnah to get it done before Maghrib. The kitabs normally says makruh after Maghrib. If there's any valid reason like tiredness, elderly people, etc., etc., or you get late, etc., then inshallah, don't worry, it will be done. Now it's not as busy as before. There's different routes and different levels. You will be guided by the military where to go, and from wherever you are, most of us in Mu'isim, you will be guided to maybe third or fourth floor. On the 11th and the 12th, same timing. Some people might go before Zohar, some have given flexibility, but according to us, it's not allowed. On the 12th, majority people will want to go, be the first ones to finish Hajj. They might have a flight to catch, they might need to go Medina, and it becomes very busy. You will be instructed by the organizers to go at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Take those instructions seriously and go accordingly. On the 12th, once you've pelted the shaitan, if you can leave before Maghrib, fine. If you can't, don't worry. You can even leave after Maghrib. You go to your hotel. The transport will be in a traffic jam on the roads, in a coach or transport. It will take you approximately 4 hours. Muallim buses won't be around. If you need transport, just go on the road and try and arrange, pay for transport. It's normally quicker, easier to walk it. It's an hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes, 1.5 hours walk. And when you reach into Makkah, it'll be flooded with people. There'll be people sitting everywhere. If you have wheelchairs, etc., it becomes quite difficult. Your Hajj is done. The only thing now remaining is Tawaf Wida, which is ab Hajj मुकम्मल हो गया. 11वीं और 12वीं को शैतान को जो कंकड़ियां मारी जाती है उसका वक्त जोहर के बाद शुरू होता है, मगरिब से पहले सुन्नत है, मगरिब के बाद मकरूह लिखा है. लेकिन किसी उज़र से अगर मगरिब के बाद भी हो जाए तो इंशाअल्लाह अल्लाह की ज़ात से उम्मीद है कि कराहत नहीं होगी. इन दिनों में भीड़ भी इतनी नहीं होती. असर के बाद अगर तंबू में से निकल जावे तो आराम से मगरिब से पहले पहले कर सकते हैं. मैं आमतन असर के बाद ही करता हूँ ताकि धूप न हो, गर्मी न हो, आराम से हो सके. और पहले शैतान को कंकड़ियां मारने के बाद दुआ की जाएगी किबले की तरफ मुंह करके. दूसरे के बाद भी दुआ. तीसरे शैतान को कंकड़ियां मारने के बाद दुआ नहीं होगी. दोनों दिन जोहर की नमाज के बाद. लेकिन 12वीं को देर से जाए, असर के बाद जावे. अगर और ये मुंतजिमीन अगर आपको ये कहे कि 4 बजे 5 बजे, तो 4-5 बजे ही अपने खैमे और तंबू में से रवाना रुखसत हो. अगर हो सके तो मगरिब से पहले निकल जावे मीना से. अगर मगरिब के बाद भी निकले तो कोई हर्ज नहीं है. चल करके मक्का पहुंचना आसान है. गाड़ी वगैरह ट्रांसपोर्ट के अंदर 4 घंटे लगते हैं. अब हज मुकम्मल हो गया. तवाफ विदा, आखिरी विदाई और फेयरवेल तवाफ बाकी है. जाने से पहले किसी भी वक्त कर सकते हैं. इस दौरान अगर आपने नफल तवाफ कर लिया और जाने से पहले वो तवाफ विदा रह भी गया तो वो नफल तवाफ ऑटोमेटिकली तवाफ विदा हो जाएगा. You can do tawaf wida anytime at the end before you leave. And if during that period, once you're in Makkah, you did a nafal tawaf, voluntary tawaf, for some reason you couldn't do your tawaf wida, that nafal tawaf will automatically become Tawaf wida. Sisters who fear that they might start on their periods should do the Tawaf, either a Nafal Tawaf or Tawaf wida as soon as possible. If for some reason you didn't do it and your period starts, you don't have to do Tawaf wida, sisters. This brings us to the end of Hajj. Hajj is completed. Some of you have already been to Medina. Some might yet go to Medina. Any questions regarding that? So, Mufti Saab, anything that missed in the marathon run, you can complete. Any questions? Think. Ji. Yeah. Yes. So in that case, what happened last year, Mufti Saab will highlight. So basically, in the books, etc., it says you've got to give a dam, you've got to do an am. But then that's when everything was in your hands and in your control. Now everything's been taken away from you. You don't have control of that. The organizers have control of that, and they do it. They don't necessarily do what they say or do it at them at times, etc. And they don't necessarily sometimes don't even know that for us it's wajib. It has to be done in order. Don't forget, majority of the world, non-Hanafis, which are a majority, for them it doesn't have to be in order. Yeah, so they just go on doing that. Now, because things are out of our control and the numbers have increased, etc., so the muftis have, given a bit leniency, etc., that if something like that happens, then you don't worry, just carry on. But if somebody intentionally does that, has full control, but he was lazy or forgot, etc., then there will be implications. You would have to give an animal sacrifice. So basically, what happens is the Prophet ﷺ said, when people came and said, "Oh, we did it without order," the Prophet ﷺ said, "If Allah wala haraj, carry on. It doesn't matter." For us, it means it doesn't matter. Hajj is done. Yeah, but there is a penalty. Some interpret it as it doesn't matter, no penalty, fine. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. So whoever the agent is, the guide is, the service provider is, your contact person is, you make sure you tell them, you stress that let us know and do it later. We want to get our pelting done, etc. So tell them to do it after Isha if possible. By Isha, you will definitely get your pelting done. Hmm. Right. So basically, this was a rerun, a recap, and session number. Adam, is it session number 6? So if you just want to listen to that half an hour one, marathon run, then it's session number 6. Ji Fazal Bhai. So Mufti Saab, anything? So don't forget, in Mina, every nationalities, they'll have colors. Yeah, British, Europeans, danger, they've got a red color. Yeah, so our lampposts have red, and then they'll have numbers according to the location, according to the streets, etc. Still, it is very confusing. Um, on the maps, you will see from Mina, normally there's 2 tunnels. What you look out for is Mu'aysim Slaughterhouse or Mustawsaf Rakam Ashara, the clinic dispensary number 10. Which the dispensary number 10 is in our area. We're on the outskirts of Mina, and as Mina finishes, Mu'aysim Slaughterhouse is there. So you look for Madbah Mu'aysim Slaughterhouse. The whole area is also called Mu'aysim. Yeah, Kurban. Just on that point, say on mic so everybody hears it. If you're doing everything that's in your control to stick to the order, inshallah, then hopefully you've got nothing to worry about. If you've agreed a time and they've messed up,
Okay, they haven't followed the time, and because of the unpredictability, and because, to be honest, not everybody knows Suhail Hakim that might arrange your qurbani for you. Okay, the ulama do give fatwa on the weaker position, which is Imam Qadi Abu Yusuf, Qadi Imam Muhammad. So there are Hanafi ulama that have gone the other way to say, look, in times of these dire necessities, after trying for everything, inshallah, you'll be saved from your thumb. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you guys don't follow what Maulana has been saying all along and what Fazl Imam was saying all along. Tige, hope that balances. And the reason why I grabbed the mic was because for the sisters, the Tawaf Ziyarah is not tied to the PAS. That's not tied to your pelting, your animal sacrifice, and your shaving. So some women, if they fear that they're about to come on, they can go straight to Makkah and do the Tawaf Ziyarah first, and then do the pelting on the way back. But so that's just something that's quite useful. Okay, that I wanted to add there. Sorry, Maulana.
Yeah, that's fine. It's absolutely important. So in Muzdalifah, if the sisters feel that they can, and I personally would say if your added, your habit is to start in 2-3 days, yeah, but because you've been traveling, you're exhausted, energy levels will be less, and because of the heat, etc., you can actually start a few days early. That's always possible, and mostly it is the case when you go to these countries. So don't take the risk. From Muzdalifah, go straight to Makkah and get your Tawaf Ziyarah done. And then Tawaf Ziyarah should be priority. If you have the slightest of possibility of starting your period, then priority should be to get your Tawaf Ziyarah done immediately after Muzdalifah. From Muzdalifah, you can go straight to Makkah and get your Tawaf Ziyarah done.
Bismillah, salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. What Mufti Saab said and Mawlana Rashid said, that is a very important point. It's an example from last year. We were on our way to Jamrat, and we had calls from unfortunately last year there weren't any guides, and generally how you have the fuqaha and the alims come in with the groups. There was nothing like that, so there was no guidance in terms of ruhaniyat and things like this. There was no alims there, so there were a lot of alims there who had never found themselves in this position, who were then contacting us. What do we do? What do we do? So Mufti Saab alhamdulillah was with us, and we just said just go straight to Makkah and just get the Hafiz Ziyarah done. So this is not something out of the book. This is something we actually faced with ourselves last year, and it was unprecedented. As I said before, things we experienced last year and we thought we'd never be able to see, or it'll never happen, but it happened. So the point is, be prepared for any eventuality. Again, last year we saw things in a certain way that hadn't been experienced prior to COVID. And in the same way, what happened last year, we are now prepared for this year, because we're seeing things happening at the moment which we're not used to seeing. So it leads us to believe things might just go slightly, untoward, or slightly in a direction we don't want it to go. So we have to be prepared for this, and you have to be aware of this, because in the heat of the moment and under the circumstances, you simply will not be able to think straight. I can tell you that categorically. You will not think straight, and you'll be very frustrated. You'll be very, very tired. And the heat is just something else. I keep saying this, but the heat is just something else. And you will need to do a lot of things and get it done on time. So be very, very careful, and be very, very observant and particular about these little points that we've made. And again, the rules pertaining to females as well. Just be, discuss amongst yourselves. I know a lot of the appas will be talking amongst the female programs as well, but just be mindful and vigilant of this as well, inshallah. In terms of the brothers who are asking about the walking Hajj as well, again, Maulana has stressed that it's not absolutely paramount to be walking. It's not that important. Yeah, it's more virtuous as well, but it's not necessary. So consider your condition of your family as well, and consider where you are based as well. If you're on the other side of Mina and you've got to make yourself available to Haram, especially if you've not had enough rest, just think about it, because it is going to be quite challenging to get to Haram as well. Just to give you an example, us in 2017, when we were in Azizia, we decided to get a taxi. And in that taxi, well, we got a minibus. In that minibus, there was about 25 of us. And Muaz will tell you, it took us close to 2.5 hours to get to Haram from Azizia, a route that normally takes 10 minutes because the roads were completely clogged and the buses had to go on the outskirts of Makkah. So again, these things happen. Changes can happen and you go against what you've planned as well. So have a backup as well. When we get to Haram, with the Fajr, we meet at a certain point and we make a tartib from there on which routes we take. Again, based on routes. Last year, the routes changed. What we're used to, the routes we're used to taking, there were roadblocks there. So the military, they won't care who you are, where you're going, whether you're Major al-Qabs or whether you're VIP. They'll just say, just keep doing that. You know, they'll just keep going, Alatur, Alatur. That's all they'll say to you. So you just keep walking and you've got to find your way. So if you've not got somebody who doesn't know where they go and at least get a rough idea where they're going, you will get very confused and disorientated. So be mindful of things like that as well. Obviously, if we're there, inshallah, we'll guide you, but routes do change and you have to be patient. That if you're thinking, oh, Sohail, we're all going straight, aren't we? Yeah, we are going straight, but we might have to take a left turn, which we've not been on before, and then navigate from there. So these kind of things are very important. And if you're prepared for that, then go walking. If part way down the walk you say, oh, you didn't say this, why are you going this way? That's when you'll get very frustrated. And we see people just sit down and say, I can't do this anymore. This is your Hajj. It's very, very important. So consider these things as well. Just stick to what you think is the safest bet, and inshallah, you will be fine from there on. Jazakumullah.
Any questions?
You can't do inshallah.
Sorry? Yes, possible.
You control of what's happening then.
You can do it yourself as well. If sometimes they allow you, and then you can make a barbecue of it as well.
So find out if your Qurban is included in your package.
So when you booked online,
Majority haven't. There's only a few people who've chosen the Nahar services. 95% are not on Qurbani
it's
packages.
better not to choose and do it yourself.
You'll have a phone call. They'll phone you. They'll take your number. If you've got your guide, they'll take your number. You stay in your hotel in Azizia, you stay in Mina, or you go back to Haram, around that area. They'll contact you.
Water, etc. Feel comfortable.
Or one thing as well, from the Istima, the Jor at the weekend, Mawlana Yusuf Darwan called us and said, Sohail, whoever's going there, give him this hadiyah. So he sent you in 4 languages Hajj guides. They're very simple daily Hajj guides. They've sent some tasbeehs and some wazaif and also salatu salam. They come from very blessed hands and with a lot of du'as from Mufti Shabir and from Mawlana Yusuf Darwan. And we're also going to be posting the PDF versions in the Falah group as well. So everybody help yourselves to this. And inshallah, it will be very beneficial.
If you have any questions, send them forward. And before I forget, all the volunteers, everybody who's helping, everybody with your dua, I'm not going to be here, so I wanted to say Jazakallah for Mawlana Rashid Saab. I actually came last. We'll take it with us. I came last year just to learn about Hajj, and these guys just roped me into it. And Allah give them reward. They're much more virtuous than I am. I was speaking to Ahmed Bhai Rawat here, and he mentioned somebody in his family who's he goes, I'm not going this year because somebody's pregnant. So I just thought I'd share this with you because it's really good advice. Sohail, you can mention that. Don't come back like a donkey thing tomorrow. But just because we've got nusuk clearance, or at least most of us have, remember it's Allah Pak's hands. Yeah, don't. Keep asking Allah Taala. It's important you keep that up. Asma binti Umais radiyallahu ta'ala anha. She was one of the wives. Sisters, don't get upset. One of the wives of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Not the mother of Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha, but one of the wives. You know, when she joined the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's Hajjatul Wada, how desperate the Sahaba were to go on that Hajj. She says that فَأَنَا مُتِمٌ, that I had completed my 9 months of pregnancy. 9 months of pregnancy, this Sahabiya joined the Qafla. It left Medina Munawwara, and she gave birth to Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, the son of Abu Bakr, near Zul Halifa. And then she carried on through Hajj, and that is how we know how to deal with people that have ahkam of nifas and postnatal bleeding and what they can do and what they can't do. So I'm not saying, by the way, don't tell them not to go for Hajj, but obviously everybody to their own. The doctors probably won't even let you board the flight nowadays with a belly that big. But what I'm trying to say is this was the jazba or that we would face, that the Sahaba Ikram would face. And Allah Ta'ala give us all that passion, and weigh up against what Mawlana keeps saying, your health, especially those around you. Try not to be a hero and then result in everybody becoming a zero. Allah Pak reward you all. Jazakallah for letting me babble on, and I'll pass that back because I'll need to head, inshallah.
So tomorrow will be our final session. Jazakallah. And those people, can I one final thing? Those people who do not take an ihram on Friday, if you can go and collect your ihram from Tomorrow we will concentrate on Medina, inshallah. The final session tomorrow regarding Medina, Salatu Salam, Ibadat in Medina, and the virtues of Medina, and the etiquettes of Medina, etc. Those who have not yet collected their ihram, if you can collect it there, inshallah.